Donnybrook, Last Call is provided in part by Design Air Heating and Cooling.
Thanks so much for joining us on Last Call. These are the topics we didn't get to in the first 28 or so minutes of our Donnybrook. Joe, I want to ask you, the city's been criticized from this panel and elsewhere for, not spending Rams money. Turns out St. Louis County has spent about $40 million on street repairs, and most recently has decided to spend part of this one-time gigantic windfall on the upcoming election, or should I say the ballot measure, Prop B, which in the county would give the county council the ability to fire department heads, and also $5 million to spend in neighborhoods damaged by last Friday's storm. Probably not exactly what people were thinking about when they first got this NFL settlement, but overall, what do you think?
I guess batting 500 isn't bad. The storm damage repair, in a perfect world with a perfect government, which doesn't exist, you'd have a rainy day fund that could do that, but Mother Nature sometimes will throw something on you, and so I don't have a problem with saying we need this money. To put a ballot on an issue, to me, just seems like an absolute waste of money. Don't put an issue on the ballot if you can't afford to put it on a ballot. It's almost like buying something. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. And there's so many questions about this issue anyway, on whether it's going to hold up to any sort of legal challenge to start with. But this is not at all what that money is supposed to be doing, which is basically using money that you got for fundamental transformational change, whatever you want to call it, to basically forward a political agenda. So I think when it comes to that second one, terrible waste of money.
Right, and you made the point there where you're basically taking the public's money, and even though I am with the leaders of the county that this probably is a bad idea, there are people that support it, and you're taking their Rams money too and using it in a way that, that's not fair to them. Also, what can you do between now and April 8th? Get people to the polls or make more signs, or whether it's already too late for that. Good idea on the storm damage until the bill comes in and we find out that, somebody's house that cost, $75,000 got $750,000.
Right.
I'm wary of that kind of thing.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm with you on that. Use it for the storm damage. Probably won't be that much. Won't just a drop in the bucket of all the money that the county got.
But I hate to say it, but that is the inherent danger in waiting so long to do something with this windfall, is that the list just keeps, you keep adding to the list. Mm-hmm. And all of the things that are considered in the minds of the voters who have been waiting for, certain things to be checked off that list, they're forgotten about. And so just from a perception standpoint, it's not good.
Yeah, and Wendy and I were hunkered down in the basement during the storm.
We were texting each other during the storm.
With Reed Creek rising.
That's right. That's right.
People expect the government to step in and help them when there's been something like a storm.
Right.
I mean, that's what a government does.
That's not Rams money.
So I think that's a great use of the Rams money.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Bill, of New York Times story? It might have been elsewhere, too. I didn't happen to see it elsewhere. And that is that Senator Josh Hawley didn't really care for one woman. Her name is Hilary Perkins, who became general counsel for the FDA. Turns out she had defeated Mrs. Hawley, Erin Hawley, in a legal suit involving an abortion drug that went to the Supreme Court. Well, even though she was very conservative and the folks at Focus on the Family said, you know what, she's exactly what we need in government, Hawley went after her and had a campaign on social media, and as a result, she had to step down.
Yeah, he called her, they said that she was doing the outrageous Biden pro-abortion stuff, and, I thought that really it was like a blonde whose dark roots show. I mean, Josh Hawley was showing who he really is, and that's an elitist. He went to Yale Law School, and his wife went to Yale Law School, and has made a lot of money in the pro-life movement. Always good to have a woman fronting for you when you're talking about taking women, essentially saying women shouldn't have the right to make some of these decisions. It's good to have a woman fronting. And when she got blasted in the Supreme Court, Josh Hawley's wife, by Hilary Perkins, who was of all things, a graduate of a public university law school. She went to University of Georgia. I think that Josh Hawley just lost it. That his wife, a Yale law grad, along with Hunter Biden and Hillary Clinton and Stuart Rhodes. I mean, there's a school that should be shut down.
Yeah.
I think that it was just a personal thing.
And I think there are a lot of people who are going to agree with you. I, for one, am hopeful that he is not that superficial to make a political enemy so publicly. I think it's simply the fact that she calls herself a conservative and she is a supporter, or at least on paper, of the morning after pill. That is, if you have those pro-life bona fides, then that includes the morning after pill, writ large. So you would be right.
She was a government lawyer.
Right.
And when you're in the deep state,
right,
working for a Republican administration and a Democratic administration, if your boss, the government, says, okay, we support this, you go to court and you support it.
I totally understand.
So it became a political issue. And Josh Hawley flexed some political muscle. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
I don't believe it had anything to do with state universities. I don't think anybody's ever questioned whether Josh Hawley is or is not pro-life. I think he's been pretty clear on that. And I don't think he liked that. Was there some added satisfaction because it was the lawyer who beat his wife in front of the Supreme Court?
Probably.
Maybe, but also there was pointed out as well, she also defended Biden's vaccines laws, and he said, I don't think this is what Donald Trump wants. So I think it was a purely political maneuver on Hawley's part.
I thought it seemed personal to me.
Maybe.
An attack on her, like she said, I'm not who Senator Hawley says I am. And I thought, well, of course you're not. I mean, Senator Hawley's not known for being forthright.
Well, I think sometimes defense attorneys get criticized for defending bad people. In a way, lawyers tend to be who they represent. They got to live with that a little bit.
I don't attack defense attorneys for representing criminals. That's what they do.
I'm just saying, but they get identified with who they defend.
Well, Josh Hawley went to Yale Law. He should understand that you don't attack a lawyer because her job had her representing this client. That's what I
don't
feel.
know. This bitterness and people getting fired for no reason.
It's like broadcasting.
The general from Joint Chiefs of Staff. What did he do? He got fired. Right. People are getting fired over nonsense right now, and the axe fell on her. I'm sorry. I feel bad for her, but at the same time, hey, look, people. Everybody better start standing up to this nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Elections have consequences, and it's happened before, and it'll happen again.
Remember that Hank Williams Jr. song? He fired his ass, and he fired some ass he didn't even know.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I have never heard that.
I never heard that.
Hank Williams Jr., ladies and gentlemen. Alvin, I want to ask you about overtime. Josh Hawley would like there not to be any federal tax on overtime wages. What do you think about that?
Johnny Taylor had a song about that. Got to quit working all this overtime and, whatever.
Take this job and shove it.
Right, that's another one. That was Johnny
Glad we're on
Paycheck.
YouTube.
That was Johnny Paycheck. Okay. Yeah, come on, Josh. You cannot eliminate federal tax on overtime because when there was a such thing for us in journalism, we had watched our own overtime because it's like, as much as I love getting this extra money, it comes to a point where, like, I'm financing the federal government right now. Right. You have to watch that yourself. I did not mind the tax coming out of it up to a point. So I think that's just some more Josh Hawley talk right there.
He's a populist from
No, he's
General
not.
Well,
no, he's not.
I think what's so amazing? Everybody seems to know what Josh Hawley really means, but he keeps introducing this legislation that's the exact opposite. And so I believe for whatever reasons you want to attribute that he's doing this, he has introduced legislation that makes it easier for labor unions to get contract negotiations going quicker. And he's put one to eliminate taxes on overtime, which is a working man's bill. He is trying to reposition the Republican Party.
he's not.
Now, for whatever reason.
No, he's not.
Well, how do you know this, Alvin? How do you know this?
Well, you talk about, wait a minute now.
How do you know
talk
that
about
he
the
is?
mayor of St. Louis like you know her, and you talk about other politicians like you know exactly what's going on in
And
their
do you
mind.
agree with me that I know her?
I mean, but no, you
Do
said
you
like,
agree
you
with
know
me
what?
that I know
We
her?
all sit here and say, you know what? I think she or he is thinking this. All right, that's all we're doing with Josh
But he
Hawley.
put-
Why does he get a free pass?
No, but he put the bill down and put his name on it.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, storm the Capitol, baby.
Oh, see,
yeah,
if you want to go back and do personalities, that's fine. There's a bill, but there's a bill in the legislature.
So he's sincere about all this
There's a bill in the
nonsense he's
legislature.
talking about.
No, but we're going to find out, aren't we?
He's
But
a
at least he took step
consummate
one.
politician who
You know,
knows exactly.
And the thing that
Hey, we got to wrap it up.
limited overtime would help workers, not management. It's that simple.
Right. He don't
Well,
care.
Said corporations
hopefully the
taking
overtime we get for
advantage
this
long enough.
segment
He
won't
does
be
for
taxed
votes.
someday.
For
Thank you very
votes,
much.
Alvin.
We'll see you sometime soon.